Elias, a seasoned fisherman boasting decades of salty sea tales, believed he'd witnessed it all. However, on a recent fishing escapade, he stumbled upon an enigmatic isle that defied all the cartography in his vast collection. Filled with a cocktail of exhilaration and apprehension, he made the audacious decision to step ashore. Elias glanced at his device, only to discover a chilling truth. He was trapped in a signal-less abyss. Two options, as stark as day and night, lay before him: beat a hasty retreat from this eerie island, or summon the courage to confront its enigmatic secrets. He resolved to explore the shoreline, cautiously keeping a close eye on his trusty boat. But Elias, well, he was searching for adventure, and as fate would have it, the adventure had come a-knocking. Before we start, smash the like button, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. While cautiously navigating the shoreline, his eyes peeled for any signs of life. He couldn't help but ponder how he'd missed this island in all his countless voyages through the area. Suddenly, a bone-crunching sensation jolted through his foot. Was it a human or an animal? He couldn't be certain, but the realization hit him like a bolt of lightning. But as he retraced his steps toward the safety of his boat, an eerie realization crept in. Fate had a peculiar way of steering one's course, and it seemed Elias wasn't quite ready to bid this enigmatic island farewell just yet. The sky darkened ominously, and the wind whipped up fierce waves on the once calm ocean surface. A storm was brewing, and Elias's trusty boat had seen better days. So, the die was cast. Elias was here to stay. Raindrops began their gentle descent from the heavens, and he realized he needed shelter. With a resolute gaze, Elias turned his attention toward the mysterious forest, beckoning him with secrets yet untold. With a deep breath, he ventured deeper into the forest, the rain's gentle pattern beginning to serenade his senses. His journey continued until he stumbled upon something that promised refuge from the relentless rain. It was a shelter, no doubt, but it bore the unmistakable signs of human craftsmanship, leaves and broken branches cleverly assembled. Should he approach the hut? What if its creator still lurked nearby? One question echoed insistently in his mind. Could this hut be linked to the same person responsible for the gruesome discoveries on the beach? Rain poured relentlessly, and with a sense of impending urgency, he dashed toward the shelter of the hut, settling beneath its leafy canopy. The perplexing sights that had greeted Elias were none other than bizarre sculptures, each adorned with ominous messages etched in vivid red. These chilling inscriptions bore messages that were impossible to ignore. "Leave, and do not come closer." They practically shouted, "Go away." But perhaps the most spine-tingling of all was the stark warning that simply stated, "Stay here and risk your life." The person responsible for those ominous signs might be lurking nearby, harboring sinister intentions. Fortunately, the tempest eventually relented, its fury giving way to a tranquil calm. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, and the joyous melodies of birds filled the air. But it was in this newfound serenity that Elias heard a sound that would freeze his very blood. Instinctively, he broke into a sprint, driven by the primal urge to flee from an unknown presence. Whoever was out there, Elias had no desire to meet them, for the cryptic signs had already sent a chilling message. Elias committed himself to a single-minded goal: escape the forest and seek out his boat. As he trudged forward, Elias unwittingly made a fateful decision. He had been tantalizingly close to the beach where his boat awaited, but his chosen path led him further into the heart of the forest, away from salvation. With a steely resolve, Elias maintained his course, pushing forward as best he could in a straight line. His fears heightened when he spotted a smudge of crimson paint. Or was it blood on a tree trunk? With unwavering determination, Elias continued his march, the relentless darkness inching ever closer. Oblivious to the fading light, he muttered words of self-encouragement, desperate to believe that he was making progress. The impending shroud of nightfall encroached swiftly, soon leaving him blind in the forest's looming shadows. Elias's intrigue was insatiable. Who was this mysterious islander, and did he possess the key to escaping this enigmatic place? Fueled by curiosity, Elias opted to shadow the stranger from a safe distance, ensuring he remained concealed behind the curtain of trees and bushes. Occasional glimpses of the man reaffirmed he was on the right path, even as tension mounted with each close encounter. The pursuit was not without its heart-stopping moments. A dry twig snapped beneath Elias's foot, the sound echoing louder than he wished. The stranger momentarily halted, scanning his surroundings, but eventually resumed his journey. Continuing his pursuit, Elias began to notice subtle markings on certain trees. Scratches here, tied leaves there. They seemed to be the man's method of navigating the dense forest. Elias couldn't help but marvel at the ingenuity. Suddenly, the tranquility of the forest was shattered. The man had halted and swung around, his eyes scouring the surroundings. Before Elias could react, the stranger had an arrow aimed directly at him. Frozen, with the arrow unwaveringly trained on him, Elias managed to find his voice. "I mean no harm," he began, his words trembling but genuine. "I'm just a fisherman who stumbled upon this island. I saw no signs of habitation and was curious. All I want is to find my way back to my boat and leave." The man's eyes narrowed, the arrow's tension relenting but not disappearing. "Many have come before you, claiming innocence," he replied coldly. "How did you find this place? Who sent you?" "I swear, it was pure accident," Elias responded, his voice brimming with sincerity. Without another word, the man lowered his bow and closed the distance between them. Elias's hands were quickly and expertly bound with a coarse vine, rendering him helpless. The man gestured for Elias to walk ahead of him, their silent journey shrouded in uncertainty. With every step, Elias felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. The distant laughter of children at play, the hushed murmur of conversations, and the rhythmic clinking of tools at work reached his ears. Emerging from the shroud of the dense forest, Elias was met with a breathtaking sight that left him spellbound. Spread out before him lay a sprawling camp, a testament to human ingenuity nestled amidst nature's embrace. Tents and huts, artfully constructed from natural materials, dotted the landscape. From the crowd, a woman emerged, her demeanor exuding authority. Her gaze was sharp, her posture unwaveringly confident. "Who are you?" It was evident that she held the community's respect and trust. "And how did you find our island?" she continued, her eyes penetrating Elias's with a piercing intensity. With a steadying breath, Elias embarked on his narrative. "My name is Elias. I've been a fisherman sailing these waters for decades." He recounted the events of that fateful day, the unexpected discovery that had ignited his curiosity, and the unsettling signs he had uncovered on the beach. "I never intended to intrude," he concluded earnestly, his voice carrying the weight of truth. "I merely wished to explore briefly and then depart." He hoped that his words would convey the purity of his intentions. The leader nodded, her authority unquestioned, and signaled two men who guided Elias to a secluded corner of the camp. When Elias awoke the following morning, it was to the harmonious rhythms of the islanders' daily life. He watched as men and women cast their nets into the sea with practiced precision, yielding bountiful catches. Children played their part, gathering fruits and vegetables, while others crafted tools and tended to the huts. Following a consultation with a council of elders, the leader turned her unwavering gaze back to Elias. "We've made a decision," she began, her voice firm, yet not unkind. "We shall test your sincerity. If you truly harbor no ill intentions, you will prove it." Elias was presented with a series of tasks. First, he was tasked with repairing a damaged fishing net, a skill that every islander possessed. Next, he was required to gather specific fruits and herbs from the forest, each with its own significance to the community. Lastly, he was given the daunting challenge of igniting a fire using only primitive tools provided. After a prolonged pause, the leader finally broke the silence, her voice carrying the weight of their collective decision. "Elias, you have demonstrated respect, comprehension, and resilience. We have chosen to release you." Before his departure, the leader motioned for Elias to draw near. "Our solitude is treasured for a reason," she began. She unraveled the tale of a sacred agreement forged generations ago to safeguard the island's unique ecosystem and their profound spiritual bond with the land. As he pushed away from the shore, the islanders congregated, waving and hollering their farewells. As the wind billowed his sails and the island's pendant nestled near his heart, Elias charted a course for a new odyssey. He sailed forth, forever transformed by the island that lingered hidden from the world, its secrets etched into his very being.